3 ways to pack a turkey sandwich for lunch so they don't feel the same. Hey, I'm Laura, and on this channel, I share lots of school lunch ideas that I've packed for my kids over the years and all the tips to keeping them fresh until lunch in the lunch bag. So if that's your jam, hit that red subscribe button so you and I can pack a few of these together a few times a week. First up, we have a turkey bagel sandwich. The bagel is what gives this sandwich a little different feel, and I'm gonna show you how I pack this for lunch. Let's start by spreading our mayonnaise onto one bagel, and I just spread a thin layer all the way around. It keeps the bread moist. If you're adding mustard to your sandwich, put it on the other half. If not, put some mayo on that side as well. On top of the mayo, I'm going to place some lettuce leaves. These are going to create a barrier between the bagel and the next ingredient, which I'm going to do is add some tomato slices. Now, tomatoes are a wet or juicy ingredient, so that's why putting the lettuce between the tomatoes and the bagel is a good idea, especially if you're gonna pack it in a lunchbox. On top of my tomatoes, I'm going to place my Swiss cheese. And on top of the Swiss cheese, I'm going to place my turkey slices. And then I'm gonna close my bagel sandwich. Another way my kids love a turkey sandwich is inside a sub bread roll. It makes a delicious lunch and it can stay fresh in the lunchbox when packed with the other ingredients. So first things, let's slice this bread. So I'm using a serrated knife and placing my hand flat on the top, slicing it through the middle to create 2 halves. Some subs are already sliced in half, but these ones were not. I'm gonna spread mayonnaise on 1 half of my sub. The mayonnaise keeps the bread moist, and you wanna spread just enough to cover the bread and remove any extra. And on the other side, I'm adding some mustard. If you don't like mustard, place mayo on this side as well. Again, it just helps keep the bread moist, but not soggy. On top of my mustard, I'm going to put some cheese. I'm using Swiss, but use whatever cheese you like. The sliced cheese is also a barrier for the bread and the upcoming tomato slices we're gonna add. Then some turkey to make this awesome. And now that I have the barrier between my juicy tomato slices and the bread, I can place them on top of the turkey. And on top of the tomato, I'm gonna take some lettuce. The lettuce is going to act as a barrier between the bread and the tomatoes so the bread doesn't get soggy. And take the top and close the sub. Check out this sub sandwich, complete with cheese, turkey, tomato, and lettuce. It's hefty, it's so good. By the way, if you found that tip helpful, give this video a thumbs up so I know to make more of them on my channel for you. And last but not least is this classic turkey sandwich in fresh bread and crispy bacon. Let's start by putting some mayo on one of my bread slices. You wanna spread enough so it keeps your bread moist and prevents it from drying out. If you're using mustard, put it on the other slice of bread. Or if you don't like mustard, you can also use mayo. I'm gonna place my cheese slice on top of my sandwich bread so it prevents any moisture from hitting the bread. Then I'll top it with my turkey slices. I quickly cook some bacon in the microwave. I chop it up so every time I take a bite of the sandwich, there's a tiny piece of bacon in there. And then I take my bacon and put it on top of my turkey. I'm gonna take my tomato slices, which are super juicy, and put those on top of my bacon. And now on top of the tomato, I'm going to place some lettuce leaves. If you don't like lettuce, you will need something else to prevent the bread from getting soggy, so another cheese slice would work as well. And then you close your sandwich just like that. And as you can see, the cheese is a barrier between the wet ingredients and the bread, and the lettuce between the tomatoes and the bread. If you want to pack the sandwich the night before, I do recommend adding the tomato slices in the morning, right before you place it in the lunch bag. It just kind of helps with that. If you're making it in the morning, let's slice this sandwich in half. If you're packing the sandwich by itself without sides, a container like this one is specifically designed for sandwiches because it's firm and it fits your standard sandwich bread. I have a video on how to prevent soggy sandwiches. I'll leave it below for you as well. Now this one I'm packing with veggies and fruit, but if you're only packing the sandwich by itself, just place it in a lunch bag with an ice pack and zip it up and you're good to go. And that, friends, is how I pack these 3 epic turkey sandwiches for lunch and keep them fresh. Make sure you check all the recipes and things you need below this video. See you next time.